while on a business trip, I surprised my husband at his hotel. As I opened the door, I saw a woman in lingerie sitting on his lap. He smirked and said, "You weren't supposed to be here." My hands trembled as I dropped my bags and whispered, "Neither were you." What I did next left him jobless and homeless. I'm 42, and my husband David is 45. We live in a suburb outside Chicago. Been married 15 years. No kids. He's a financial analyst. I work in marketing. We've both been doing well in our careers, especially lately. He travels often for work, New York, Boston, San Francisco, etc. Sometimes he's gone for a week, sometimes just a few days. We had what most people would call a good marriage. We didn't fight often. We shared chores. We spent holidays with each other's families. We went on vacations together, celebrated anniversaries, birthdays, all the usual stuff. We didn't have a perfect relationship, but I thought we were solid. I thought we were a team. A few weeks ago, I had a big marketing conference in New York. Coincidentally, David was scheduled to be there the same week for work. He told me he'd be staying at the Marriott Marquis in Times Square. I was booked at a different hotel downtown, closer to my conference. The plan was that we'd meet up for dinner once or twice, but otherwise stick to our schedules. 3 days into the trip, my conference ended early. I was tired, but also excited. I missed David, and I thought it'd be sweet to surprise him. I bought a bottle of wine, grabbed some takeout from a place he likes, and got in a cab uptown. I didn't tell him I was coming. I wanted to see the look on his face when I knocked on his door. Well, I got to his hotel around 8 p.m. I went up to the 27th floor, found his room, and knocked. There was a pause. I heard movement. Then the door opened just a crack. David's face appeared. He looked, not happy. More like caught off guard. "Sarah," he said. I smiled. "Surprise," I said, holding up the wine and the bag of food. He didn't smile back. "What are you doing here?" he asked. That's when I knew. I didn't know what, exactly. But something felt wrong. My stomach dropped. I pushed the door open wider. And there she was. A woman. Wearing nothing but red lingerie. Sitting on his lap. Her hands were still on his chest. She gasped and scrambled off him. I just stood there, frozen. David didn't even move. He didn't look shocked or guilty. He just leaned back on the bed and looked at me. And then he said it. "You weren't supposed to be here." My hands were shaking. The wine bottle slipped out of my grip and hit the floor, rolled away. I whispered, "Neither were you." The woman gathered her clothes and rushed past me. She mumbled something, maybe "I'm sorry." I didn't look at her. I couldn't take my eyes off David. He stood up slowly, adjusting his shirt like he'd been caught coming out of the bathroom, not like he'd just been caught cheating on his wife. "How long?" I asked. My voice came out cracked and quiet. He shrugged. "A few months." I stared at him. "Who is she?" He picked up the wine bottle, put it on the desk. "Does it matter?" I felt something inside me crack. I had never felt rage like that before. It wasn't screaming rage. It was quiet. Cold. Sharp. "Yes," I said. "It matters to me." He sat back down. "We haven't been close in a long time. You know that." "No," I said. "What I know is that I married someone I thought had my back." "You've been lying to me." He didn't respond. Just looked away. I stood there for a while, just staring at him. Then I turned and walked out. The walk back to my hotel was a blur. I didn't cry. Not yet. I felt numb. Like I was floating outside my own body. When I got to my room, I locked the door and sat on the bed for a long time. Then I opened my laptop and started making calls. The next morning, I contacted a divorce lawyer in Chicago. I explained everything. I had proof now, texts, hotel receipts, even a copy of the room key he gave to her, which I found later in his coat. Then I called David's company. I didn't do it out of revenge. I did it because his company had strict policies about conduct during business trips. Affairs, especially involving company time and company expenses, were violations. I had receipts, emails, everything. I gave them what they needed. They opened an internal investigation. In less than 3 weeks, David was terminated. His reputation in the finance industry? Done. Word spreads fast in his field. I stayed in the house. He moved in with a friend for a while. That didn't last long. Nobody wants to host a grown man who blew up his marriage for a fling. He texted me a few times. Tried to call. I didn't respond. I had nothing left to say. Now he's couchsurfing and unemployed. I'm still living in the house. Quietly working, planning, rebuilding. I haven't finished the divorce process yet. I'm taking my time. Making sure everything is documented. Every expense, every call, every lie. And I'm not done. Not even close. It was a Monday morning when I found the letter. Not an email. Not a text. A handwritten letter, slid under my front door in an envelope with my name on it. My heart stopped when I saw his handwriting. I picked it up slowly, like it might burn me. Inside were 3 pages. David's words. Sloppy, rushed. He wrote that he made a huge mistake, that he was confused, that the woman from the hotel wasn't someone he loved. Her name was Mia. She worked at a bank he partnered with. He said she was just there, when we were having problems. He swore it was over. Then he wrote something that made my skin crawl. I think we can still fix this. I didn't scream. I didn't tear the letter up. I didn't even cry. I took a photo of every page and forwarded them to my lawyer. That same week, I started noticing weird things. The garbage cans were put back at the curb before I got home, something I usually did. My spare key, which I kept in a small flower pot by the back porch, was missing. I felt sick. I changed the locks the next day. The next day after that, I caught him in the backyard. He was sitting on the old wooden bench, smoking. Like it was still his house. Like nothing had changed. What the hell are you doing here? I asked. He looked up, calm as ever. Just thinking. You're trespassing, I said. He didn't move. Just took another drag from his cigarette. We lived here 15 years, Sarah. It's not like I'm a stranger. You are now, I said. Get out. He left. Slowly. Like he wanted me to chase after him. I didn't. But it didn't stop there. A few days later, my car tires were slashed. All 4. The same night someone egged my windows. I filed a police report. I had no proof it was him, but I knew. My gut knew. He was unraveling. Then Mia contacted me. Yep. Her. She sent me a message on Facebook. I almost didn't read it, but curiosity got the better of me. It said, I didn't know he was married. He told me you two were separated. I found out the truth after you showed up. I ended it that night. I'm sorry. I didn't respond. But I saved it. Forwarded that too, to my lawyer. A few days later, I got another message. From someone I didn't recognize. A woman named Nicole. Her message was short. He did the same to me. You're not the only one. I felt dizzy reading it. Turns out, David had a whole trail of women. Not just Mia. Not just Nicole. At least 2 others that I now know of. All during our marriage. All while he was on business trips. I started digging. The signs were always there. I had just ignored them. The longer hours. The new cologne. The locked phone. All of it. I wasn't stupid. I was trusting. And he used that. What's worse? One of the women, Nicole, was pregnant. She didn't ask for anything. Just wanted to warn me. She wasn't sure if it was his, and frankly, neither was I. But she said he ghosted her when she told him. My hands shook as I typed a message to my lawyer. We needed to amend the divorce filings. Include the possibility of child support claims, just in case. And then came the worst twist of all. I got a notice from my bank. A joint account David and I had opened years ago, one I had forgotten even existed, was accessed. Over $8,000 gone. Transferred and emptied. He was still listed on the account. I hadn't closed it. That was on me. But it lit something in me. A new fire. Cold, clean fury. This man wasn't just a cheater. He was a thief. He was reckless. And he was going to pay. After the bank incident, I didn't waste time. I froze all remaining accounts. Opened new ones. Put every financial detail under legal review. My lawyer filed an emergency motion. We petitioned to have David's access revoked from everything. The house, the car, the remaining finances. Judge approved it within 48 hours. But that same night, just after midnight, I heard a noise outside. I peeked out the bedroom window. There he was. David. In the driveway. Holding something. At first I thought it was a box. But when he lifted it up and placed it on the doorstep, I realized it was our wedding album. Burnt. Partially. The edges were black, curled. The center photo, me in my dress, him smiling, was ripped down the middle. My face torn off. I didn't open the door. I called the police again. This time I filed for a restraining order. They served him the next day. At his brother's house. The last place I knew he was staying. 2 days passed without a peep. Then the next bomb dropped. I got a call from HR at my company. David had sent them an anonymous email, claiming I had been misusing travel funds on my business trip. Claimed I'd taken personal time on the company dime. Claimed I was unstable, emotionally erratic, and a risk. He attached screenshots of texts, edited, twisted, taken completely out of context. I felt like the floor opened beneath me. Luckily, I had the full records. I proved my travel matched company policy. I had receipts, approvals, everything. HR cleared me. They even flagged his email as an abuse of internal reporting. But the fact that he went that far? Trying to take my job? My livelihood? That was war. I handed all of it to my lawyer. She said we were now looking at not just divorce and theft, but defamation. But then, another twist. One I never saw coming. I got a call from a woman named Ellen. She was quiet, a little shaken. Said she used to work with David years ago. Said she'd heard what happened through mutual friends. Then she dropped a name. Renee. My stomach turned. Renee was David's cousin. The one who lived in Florida. The one who always sent him gifts. The one he once rushed to visit when her dad died. Ellen said, Renee isn't his cousin. She's his ex. And maybe more. I froze. She went on. He was engaged to her. Years ago. Before you. It ended badly. But I think they still talked. Maybe saw each other. I didn't say much. Just thanked her. Hung up. Then I pulled out a shoebox from the closet, where I kept old anniversary cards, photos. Inside? A postcard. From Renee. 3 years ago. Sent to our house. I'd thought nothing of it at the time. It read, Miss your laugh. Miss your arms around me. Hope Miami is just a flight away. I dropped the card. I felt like I couldn't breathe. How deep did this go? How many lies had he told? Who was this man I married? The postcard from Renee stayed on my kitchen table for 3 days. I couldn't bring myself to move it. I'd walk past it, sometimes stare at it, like it might change or explain itself. Like it might say, yes, it's true. He's been lying to you since day one. My lawyer prepped me for court. We were pushing for an emergency hearing. Not just for the financial mess, not just for the restraining order violations, but now, possibly for fraud. If David had maintained a long-term emotional or physical relationship outside of our marriage while funneling joint funds, that changed everything. But then the final piece dropped. I was at the grocery store on a Saturday morning. I was checking out when I noticed someone watching me, an older woman, mid-50s, stylish coat, blonde hair curled neatly. She looked familiar, but I couldn't place her. She waited until I paid, then followed me out to the parking lot. "Sarah," she said. I turned, clutching my bag of groceries. "Yes?" "I'm Renee's mother." The breath left my body. "I just wanted to tell you something," she said. Her voice was steady. "I told Renee to stop seeing David when I found out he was married. But she wouldn't listen. She said he promised he was going to leave you. He even sent her a ring last year." "A ring?" She nodded. "Did she know about me?" She hesitated. "Not at first. But eventually, yes." I leaned back against my car. My legs felt like paper. She reached into her purse and handed me an envelope. "I know it's not my place. But you should see this." She walked away. Inside were photos. Old and new. David and Renee at the beach. At a wedding. At her apartment in Miami. One photo was dated just 4 months ago, David in a pool, with his arm around Renee, her hand on his chest. She was wearing a ring. I didn't text. I didn't call. I waited. I showed up to David's brother's house at 6 p.m. that night, after confirming he'd be there. I knocked. Hard. When David opened the door, I was already speaking. "I know everything." He blinked. "Sarah, what? I know about Renee. I know she's not your cousin. I know about the engagement. The ring. The photos. Everything." His mouth opened, but no words came out. His brother stepped behind him. "What's going on?" I looked at him. "Your brother's been lying to everyone for years. He didn't just cheat. He had another life. Another woman. He sent her a ring while we were married." David finally spoke, quietly. "Can we talk alone?" "No," I snapped. "We're past that." I pulled the envelope out of my bag and tossed it at his chest. He caught it, glanced inside, and his face paled. His brother grabbed it, looked at one photo, then stared at David. "Are you kidding me?" David tried to speak, stumbled through half a sentence. "It was complicated, no," I said. "You are complicated. Everything else is pretty damn clear." His brother turned away, disgusted. "Get out of my house." David looked stunned. "What?" "No, come on, she's making it sound worse than it, I saw the photos," his brother shouted. "She didn't make up your face next to your girlfriend in a pool." David's voice cracked. I was going to end it, with me or her. I shot back. Silence. That was my answer. He didn't even know. I turned to leave, but paused at the door. "You destroyed everything, David." "And for what? For someone who thought you were a single man? You deserve what's coming. The job loss, the debt, the empty house, the silence. I gave you 15 years. You gave me a postcard from Miami." I walked out and never looked back. That night, I cried for the first time in weeks. Not because I missed him. but because I had let myself believe for too long that things were okay. That we were okay. My friends rallied around me. My sister flew in. Even David's brother called later to say, "I'm sorry. I had no idea. He's not who I thought he was." Mia messaged me again. So did Nicole. Both apologized. Both said he ghosted them when things got complicated. Nicole found out the baby wasn't his, thank God. But she was in therapy. So was Mia. So was I. I started therapy a month later. The divorce finalized 3 months after that. I got the house. He got debt. My lawyer made sure every last cent was accounted for. He tried to reach out one last time. Sent me an email. No subject line. All it said was, "I was broken. You didn't deserve it. I'm sorry." I never responded. I won't lie, I still wake up some mornings with a tightness in my chest. The betrayal didn't vanish. But it got quieter. I went back to painting. Joined a class. I go for walks now. I book solo trips. I sleep in the middle of the bed. Sometimes I see couples holding hands at the grocery store, and I feel a twinge, envy, sadness, a little hope. I'm not sure what's next. But I know it won't be lies. Half-truths. Living someone else's story. This is mine now. And for the first time in years, I'm not afraid to write the next chapter. Alone, maybe. But honest. And that's more than I ever had with him.